Welcome back to NBA Cinema, guys. So, look, Brian Windhorst revealed that several staff members and players approved of the Clippers sending Chris Paul home. And we got people around the NBA reacting by the minute, man. And if you look at Chris Paul and what he was able to do for that organization, he brought them back to prominence and made that a desirable destination for free agents, right? So, even what they had with Kawhi and Paul George, a lot of that was built on how Chris Paul brought in Lob City, with Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, and those guys. They brought a competitive spirit, to the Clippers and made them look like a viable option who was close to getting over the hump, just needed some retooling. Um, but if you look at like the things that has happened since you had the Charlotte Hornets draft Shea Gilgis Alexander and then trade him to the Clippers for Miles Bridges. Then you had the Clippers trade uh, Shea Gilgis Alexander away for Paul George. So I just kind of want to look at those things, but we're going to get into what everybody had to say about it. Melo sends a warning to AD and other guys who's been talked about being traded around again. Let's get into it.
I don't like it. It just didn't work out like we thought it would. And like I said, I don't like it for CP. But it just wasn't a good fit. And we understood that. And so, like I said, it was an organization. They made the choice. And so moving forward, we got to see what we do. So we'll see.
Um, you said it was an organizational decision. Were you part of that decision? Do you agree with the decision? And do you think this will help your team moving forward?
I don't think it necessarily helped our team. I mean, I don't think the reason why we're 5-16 because of CP's play. I just think that it wasn't a good fit for what he was looking for, and it is what it is. And so, do I want to see CP go out like this? No, I have a lot of respect for him. He's been a friend of mine over the years, and you never want to see a great go out like this. But I'm pretty sure he will find something because he's a great player. And so I didn't want to see it end like this.
The CP situation, it's a up situation. Imagine CP right now. He's embarrassed that my own organization that I brought back to relevance is on me. We ain't talking about what I'm doing right now or what have you done for me lately. You with my legacy now. This is the up side of the sport. And I know a lot of people say, well, Chris Paul is older, but you still don't do that. You should treat that with a level of respect because now you playing with somebody's legacy. It ain't about wins and losses right now. I should have enough respect for you and your legacy not to let you go out like this. You got 4 months here. The guy's retiring in April.
So what's his next most logical step career-wise?
Go be with your family, bro. Lock into Chris. It's going to be an ego hit because you ain't going to want to go out like that because it's embarrassing. But what's going to keep you strong is your kids. I get to live through my son right there. And I'm speaking from experience. And he's similar because he got a son that's on his way up too. You're trying to put a dent into this legacy.
No matter what the Clippers do in the future,
bro,
they can't take away from how much of a Hall of Fame.
But that's what they gonna say.
Chris Paul is.
Well, we can't take away the fact that what you have done.
But if you're Chris
right
Paul,
now,
if you're Chris Paul in this situation, I'm going to give you 3 hypotheticals, right?
Man.
What do you do?
You know, this shit pisses me off, this type of shit.
I know it though, but
it's about to happen to Russ. It's happening to Russ.
Yeah.
It's about to happen to DeMar DeRozan. It's about to happen to all of these niggas. AD is about to happen. The next trade that AD happens, it's going downhill from here. This is what's about to happen.
All right. So
it's unfortunate that trend, I understand it, but the way that our legends of the game get treated is fucked up.
Ocho, it sounds more like of how the message is being delivered to me, if you ask me. Like, there's a way you can still lead. Although he's coming off the bench, he's trying to be that spark plug that lead off the bench. He can't help, to get a little emotional probably, throughout this course of the season, man. It's been a rough patch for the Clippers early. You know what I mean? I've watched them play numerous of times. So I know the frustration has set in. Like Unc say, when emotions is high, logic is low. You know what I mean? So they sat and had a meeting. He released the IG post at 3 a.m. and said they were sending him home. From my understanding, they was meeting up to that point. That's how long it took. for them to kind of get an understanding. So it ain't just clear cut and dry that they just let him go. Like it was more to the situation that obviously that'll probably never get out to the public.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we've had Lou Williams come out and give an in-depth look at what potentially happened within the organization, and some of the things Chris Paul was doing. Some people feel like it was calculated and Chris Paul was ready to go home at this point, but who knows, right? Who knows other than those guys within the organization and Chris? Well, Kendrick Perkins talks about how this isn't a good look for the Los Angeles Clippers and how it impacts potential free agents and people in the future who look at the organization. Because a lot of times we talk about these players taking power into their own hands and moving around the NBA as they please and not sticking with one team. And you look at something like this where Chris Paul helped this organization uh, get back to prominence and how they treat him at the end of his NBA's chapter, so let's get into what Big Perk said.
Yo, 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 yo. Look, I was supposed to be out today. I was minding my damn business, okay? Putting up my Christmas tree. All right, but here's the thing. I'm so tired of Lawrence Frank. I'm sick and tired of Lawrence Frank. I don't know how many chances or what he got, the skeletons that he know about that are in the closet of the Clippers, but something got to change. You know what I'm saying? You don't handle a situation with a future Hall of Famer in CP3 the way that this situation was just handled. Oh, we're going to send him home. We're going to send him home. It's bad enough. We could dive into the whole Kawhi Leonard situation and how I believe is one of the worst signings ever, right? Free agent signings ever, and how he didn't just hand it basically Oklahoma City a damn dynasty. Sam Presti got enough picks that he take them home. He have steak, potatoes, and a side of picks every single night. That's how many draft picks he got because of the Los Angeles Clippers and Lawrence Frank. But how many times are we going to sit up here and watch this man and allow him to do weasel things, right? What he did to Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers bring him to the Clippers. All of a sudden, he get a promotion. He's at the front office. Doc Rivers get fired. Okay, cool. Look at the John Wall situation. Broken promises to John Wall. All of a sudden, things don't go well. John Wall started to get DMPs. John Wall probably had another 2 or 3 years on to his career. All of a sudden, it was over with once he finished with the Clippers. And now we get to this point. Forget the fact that he got rid of Norman Powell. We're not going to even get into that because Miami doing their thing. Eric Spoelstra loving him. He's probably going to send Lawrence Frank a damn Christmas gift. But now you treat a future Hall of Famer, CP3, the way that you did because he want to hold people in that organization accountable. Hey, man, I just don't get it. I don't know what's going on down there. I know it's a disaster, but this makes the organization look worse. And I just don't understand how this man continues to run this organization and get chance after chance after chance. It's crazy to me.
Well, there clearly needs to be some changes made within the Clippers organization, and this is not specific to Chris Paul or anything that happened around sending him home. This is just a long time coming. When you make that deal and Shea Gilgeous goes on to become who he has become, not only Shea Gilgeous, the picks that you gave the uh the Oklahoma City Thunder becomes Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, all these phenomenal role players, and we got we don't even know who they're gonna get this upcoming year. I believe they have a what 3 top 15 picks or something like that. So I mean they're gonna get some phenomenal players in this draft. So even when players get too good to be on the team, you see people like AJ Mitchell, Wiggins, for the Oklahoma City Thunder, those guys are going to get big paydays somewhere else. Like teams around the league going to be trying to break the Thunder up by taking their young players. Problem is they got such great picks. They're going to continue to get those type of players, within the organization. They're going to keep reloading while being able to pay their big three. So yeah, man, I look at that. I'm like, look, it's been time for a change. Too much trash has been going on over there. And you look at the way Kawhi Leonard is, like I said in my other video, I felt like Kawhi didn't play enough games with the Raptors to go to those extents to get him. You know, he's one of those guys, either he wants to come and be, on the team with Shea to be closer to home, or he could have just stayed in Toronto. But we're not moving everybody around, to bring in Paul George. Not that Shea was a star at that point, but if you watch Shea play, you knew it was a lot of potential there, a lot of potential, with him. So I would have wanted to keep him as a player, even if I brought Paul George in, because Paul George had been traded to OKC by that point, and then this would be another move in just a few years. And when they start asking for specific young players, as an organization, you have to step back and be like, wait, they willing to do that? you know, but why are they stuck on this one player? Why do they want him so bad? You got to look at that because the scouting department over there with them, they were like, oh yeah, yeah, I'll definitely do that, and y'all were thinking y'all were fleecing them, and it's not always like that. Paul George had some injuries and things like that. Shea is the alpha that Paul George never was at his peak in Indiana. We hear Paul George say, you can't beat a team with LeBron James on it. That's not Shea's mentality. So um, Kawhi had a strong mentality. Just wasn't playing enough games for me to give away all those picks and a player like Shea Gilgis Alexander, who showed a lot of promise and potential. Even playing behind some really good players. So yeah, man. I want to know what you guys think about this. What do you think about what Melo's saying? Is there any truth to uh, they about to send home DeRozan, AD, Russell Westbrook, all those guys. I mean, it comes a time where it is time, for these players to pack it up. Guys playing into their 40s. I think LeBron is the one guy who can do that with no problem, and there's a lot of eyes on him, a lot of business behind him being out there on the floor. But just decent players as they age, and it don't make any business sense for them to be in a jersey. Uh, Again, man, a lot of players didn't play to 40 back in the day. So where is that line, right? Is that a thing of loyalty? Or is that a thing of it's just time to pack it up? Now, see, me personally, I feel like they shouldn't have even signed CP3, or if they were gonna do it, sign him to a 10-day. He don't agree to that. Okay, fine, we won't do business, but give him an opportunity. But if you didn't really want him, and no need to embarrass him like this, this is just a few months left in the season. Yeah, he would have been able to go home. They're not likely to make the playoffs anyway. This would have been all over by the end of March, early April, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.